Hello everyone on the Career Happiness Mentor page. My name is Soma and I am the founder of the Career Happiness Mentor, where I help women who are unhappy in their working life find a job and career they truly love and go on to do something which fulfills them and gives them a great work-life balance. So, today I'm talking about what is your unique selling point. So, anybody who's watching this video may have heard of what a USP is before. A USP is a business marketing tool used for products, unique selling point, but I've decided to put a spin on it, and I've actually decided to do this in a way which is formatted for when you're actually job hunting, when you're thinking about job hunting. And this came up back in 2012 when I used to do a lot of careers blogging. I will put the career blog, what is your unique selling point, on this page later on today so that you can have a look at it. But it had many views and many likes, this particular blog. I do not know why, but I think maybe it was because I was highlighting how you can be different, how you can be unique. And one of the reasons why this is so important for anyone who is job hunting right now and looking for work is because employers get tired and sick of seeing people who are doing the same thing in their job hunt and trying to do everything in their book. Most employers want people that are dynamic and that are different, who are going to come into their team or come into their organisation and give them something very different. So some of the things to think about, I mean, I won't talk too much about what I wrote about in my blog post because this is just like an add-on to that. But I spoke about somebody who had done an engineering degree who wasn't able to find his dream job. And this was more targeted to graduates at the time because I was working more with graduates at the time. And how he used those skills that he had, because he had a passion for music, to become a DJ. And then later he found a job that he really liked, but when he went to interviews, he was using the experience that he learned as being a DJ, the communication, the team building skills, the hard work, because he had to work really long hours, the sort of skills that he developed whilst he was doing that. And that made him a unique candidate, because instead of just sitting unemployed at home, he was actually working and he was doing something which wasn't related to what he studied, but because he was so passionate, he was still working and committed to something because he knew he needed to work on his work experience, basically. So, as I said, you can read that blog post later on, but in this video, the reason why I'm sharing what is your unique selling point is, what you need to do firstly is you need to think about any unusual projects that you may have done that make you unique. So for example, I'll tell you what helped me get onto my postgraduate and ultimately helped me become a careers advisor. I did some charity work for an organisation called Mind. I was a volunteer there. And this is something that really was helpful, not only to my personal statement, but in the interview process. So if at the moment you are someone who's you're a mum who's returning to work and you're really struggling and maybe, you've not been here too long and you're still trying to figure things out, think about any volunteering organisations which will look good on a CV and give you additional skills. I mean, at the moment, Oxfam, the Red Cross, all these other sort of UNICEF, all these other sort of organisations always looking for people to volunteer. I was approached by someone the other day from MenCap to do some volunteering for them, So if you're interested in getting into education and working with children, they help children with mental health and disabilities. So think about any work that you could do which will make you look unique, which will make you develop skills, because you need to be patient, you need to listen, all those sorts of things. First of all, think about that. I know it's not always easy when you're looking for a job and you're just not getting the right type of job, or even if you have the experience, but a lot of the women I work with are from other countries and they've come here to look for a job, and they get frustrated because they're not able to put the experience that they have, and it's all wonderful experience, here. So that's where voluntary work can be a plus. It can be a real plus. So, look at those unique selling points. Look at the unique selling points you have as mums, for any mums watching this video, because, you need to be organised. You need to be diverse. You need to juggle lots. Add that to your CV, add that to interviews. Other things which can, create unique selling points in job interviews is if you have a side business. My business is what impressed the interviewers that interviewed me in the last job I got, because they said, Soma, you were doing something to fill in the gap, and that impressed them, that I wasn't just sitting there. And most employers, they don't like gaps, right? They question gaps and they wonder why there is gaps. The only time where they may be a bit more lenient with gaps on your CVs is maybe if you've had a child, maybe. It depends on the employer and the organisation. But what I would say is, by having voluntary experiences or doing unique things, it makes you a unique candidate and it makes you stand out. Even think about anything that is extracurricular, like if you sing, if you play music, depending on what field you're going into. Some fields may not be impressed by that, but with other fields, it could be something where somebody, might be impressed. And the main thing I want to say here is, if suppose anybody's watching this and they're actually interested in starting a business, the main thing that most business owners teach people when they're building a business is to have a unique brand, is to have something different that is out there. I mean, I'm called the Career Happiness Mentor. There are other coaches called other things. So in the same way, you have to think about yourself as a unique individual coming to a job interview. If you were a brand, what would you be? I mean, when we think of brands like Pepsi and Cola and Nescafe, thinking of random drinks companies they're all different brands and they all stand for something different. I'm not saying that you need to brand yourself, but I wrote an article ages ago about using a brand to sort of promote yourself as well, being, creating a unique brand for yourself. You need to think about what makes you different to job candidates. One of the things I advise when I help people write their personal profile is to write something which will make them different, instead of putting a dynamic and well-organised individual. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's so boring, right? You need to say something maybe like, I am a enthusiastic individual who has ... Can you see the energy of that? Even the energy of that is so much different. So when we're talking about USP factor, when we're talking about unique selling point, we're talking about what makes you you. There's only one you on this planet, right? So what you need to think about is you need to think about what, when you're sitting in the interview room, visualize. I talk a lot about visualizations in my video. You need to visualize if there are any other candidates there with you in the room. What do they look like? What makes you different? What have you done? Have you done a tandem skydive? Have you climbed Mount Kilimanjaro? Have you cycled all across France? Some people would have done these things, by the way, which is why I'm mentioning them. I know they're a bit outrageous, but, put that in your application forms, because that shows not only somebody who is committed and hardworking in terms of personality traits, it shows people who are, really, really prepared to go the extra mile. And employers are looking for people who are willing to go the extra mile, are leaders, and are people who are going to bring something different to their organisation. I just share a very, very quick story with you. I had a chance to go to the Ogilvy offices, and for many people who know who Ogilvy are, they're a marketing and advertising agency. Anyone who's watched Mad Men will know what I'm talking about here, because obviously it's all about ads and marketing. And I had the pleasure actually of going to one of their offices ages and ages ago, when I was a careers advisor, and seeing some training go on in the Ogilvy office, right? And the work dynamic there, they work very, very long hours, and the chairman spoke, and he actually gave a speech where he said that when they interview people, they look for creative people, but they look for people who have, not only those sort of unique selling points that I was talking about, the extracurriculars, but they look for people with personality. So if you're worried that you're too loud, or too introverted, or too whatever, it will naturally come out in an interview the way that you are. When you're talking to interviewers, They will get a glimpse of your personality already. And if part of your personality is a requirement of that job, so for example, the reason I mentioned Ogilvy is because they look for people who have a certain personality. They want people who are dynamic, hardworking, creative, confident. These are some of the things that they look for as a marketing ad firm, because they need people to do presentations and to be able to carry themselves well, right? So what I would say here is just be you. If you are an introverted person, stay introverted. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't pretend to be something you're not. Use what you have uniquely. There are lots of people in this world who are introverted but are extremely skilled at a particular craft that they're good at, especially if they're artists, or people who work in IT may be introverted, but they have so much knowledge about their field that they hesitate on that, and they don't share that with people in interviews, and they don't share the knowledge that they have. Think about all of the unique things, and what I would suggest is write down a list of what makes you unique, what makes you different. If you have a lot of work experience, write down, look at your CV, look at your application form. What makes you different? What do you think will help attract you for a job interview? And it may sound sound a bit weird to do an exercise like that, but the reason why I'm suggesting this is because employers now, and I will keep on saying this, are looking for people who are different in most organisations. They are looking for people who are going to bring something new to their company. They are not looking for somebody who is going to go to work and be just prim and proper all the time. That's not enough anymore. If you don't have extracurriculars, if you don't have a personality, it's the same when most of the people that I work with as well are educated and have done their degree, and anybody who has had to get to that stage, you had to show something extra to get through that door, right, and to become a graduate. In the same way, you have to show that here with your work. It continues. That's all I'm going to say in this video. I think the main thing that you need to do with this is to write down a list of what you think your unique talents and USP factors are, is what I would say. But to make it relatable in a professional sense, I know I mentioned the singing and the artistry, but unless you are looking for something specific related to that, it may not be relevant. But if you know that something is going to impress an employer, like you had a business but you don't have it anymore, or you maybe did some project management for a company freelance, or you did something which will make you just that little bit more unique and diverse. So suppose, I'll just mention one more thing. There's something called Toastmasters, which some people are not aware of. If you want to go into public speaking and become a presenter, a lot of people are doing more Toastmasters now, and that actually helps you sort of prepare for public speaking. But Toastmasters are traditionally people who announce people at weddings and events and anything like that, and a lot of people are doing this as an extra skill now, which when they go to interviews they talk to people about, because it helps them, if especially in any job role that they do, it's particularly about selling or particularly about presenting themselves. So what I would say with this, with your unique selling point, is to just think uniquely. Think, if you were in the employer's seat, right? If you were interviewing job candidates, would you want to employ somebody who is just prim and proper and has all the skills and qualifications? Or would you be more likely and willing to employ someone who not only has all those skills and qualifications, but they can bring something extra to the plate? They can bring their years of experience of working in another trade into that particular job role. Just think about that, and think about, what you think makes you unique as an individual, because your personality will shine through in interviews, it will shine through in the work you do. And all of you who are watching this video have something different to offer. You may not feel that way at the moment, especially if you become despondent in your job hunting. But there could be reasons why it's just not working out for you. And, if anybody watches this and feels as though they need to talk to me, please get in touch. I offer a free half an hour, no obligation Skype call. And in that chance, you can ask me any questions that you have, not only about what I do and how I can support you. But also if you just say to me, Soma, you know what, I just need a little bit of help with this, what do you suggest? You can ask for my advice, you know, that's what the half an hour is for as well. And, you know, I just hope this really, really helps you and encourages you to keep on looking and to not give up, ultimately, because we all have something unique in us. We just need help bringing it out of us. And I shared my own examples of the fact that I had a business and I went back to work because it did impress them. It impressed them because it shows the leadership and it showed that I was a self-starter. And if you know that you want to go for a role and you've had a business or you still have a business, then put it on your application form. Don't be ashamed of admitting to that. Don't be ashamed of showing any experience you have that you know is going to make you look better. Just don't do it. You know, don't be hesitant is what I'm going to say. Because hesitancy, if you're hesitant on your application form and CV, the hesitancy will come across in your interview. It will totally come across and people will know. Ooh, I can see that somebody's giving me lots of hearts at the moment. Oh, great. Thank you, whoever you are. Thanks for watching. It is towards the end of the video now, so I'm going to leave it there. But if you have any questions, please, 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 please let me know. And I will do my best to answer them. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Take care, everyone. Bye.